Hello YouTube, this is Got Radio Moscow here again with another beer review. Now I've done several foreign beers recently, so I decided it's time to come back to Scotland and revisit the Brewdog Brewery, which is very local to me. I'm based in the city of Aberdeen in the northeast of Scotland, and this company Brewdog are based in Ellon, which is maybe about 20 miles or so north of the city of Aberdeen. But this is the Cocoa Psycho beer, which is one of the 2013 core range of beers. Now for those of you who are watching for the first time, I'll take you through the history of the Brewdog Brewery again, and for those of you watching your first Brewdog review with me, I've done several other Brewdog reviews, and I'll put the links for all of these in the description. So if you're interested in Brewdog beer, just take a little look at the description and you can see all the different ones that I've reviewed so far, and there will be more Brewdog reviews. I've got a bit of a stockpile of Brewdog beer that I need to go through, and I'll do these kind of sporadically over the next little while. But anyway, let me just take you through the history of the Brewdog Brewery as I like to do in my videos. The Brewdog Brewery was founded in 2007 by James Watt and Martin Dickey in a small brewery in the Keswick Industrial Estate in Fraserburgh in the northeast of Scotland. For those of you watching outside of the UK, I always like to describe Scotland as looking like a monster's head, and for those of you who are interested in the geography, Fraserburgh is right on the very sort of nose of the monster, if you like. But in 2012 the brewery moved to their new facility in Ellon, which is closer to the city of Aberdeen. As I said, it's maybe about 20 miles or so north of the city, but the Fraserburgh facility remained as a beer lab for some of their experimental stuff, and I'm sure they brew some of their really strong stuff there as well. But they claim to be the largest independently owned brewery in Scotland, and they produce around 120,000 bottles per month for export all across the world. You can get these beers throughout Europe, in the Far East, Australia, North America. You can get them all over the world. This company's expanded massively since 2007. But in addition to their core range of beers, this incidentally is one of the core range beers on offer in 2013 by Brewdog. But in addition to their core range, they also have their seasonal beers and what they call occasional brews. Now you can get ales, stouts, pilsners, you name the style, and Brewdog have probably done it. And they're also very well known for having experimented with several quite random ingredients. One of the reviews I've done previously is the beer called Hello, My Name is Mette, Marit, which used lingonberries. And they also did one called My Name is Ingrid, I'm sure it was, and this used cloudberries, which you'll probably recognise from the Cloudberry Copperberg cider that was going around for quite a while. But the company is also well known for having held the title of World's Strongest Beer on more than one occasion, and the strong brews have included the 32% Tactical Nuclear Penguin, the 41% Sink the Bismarck, and the 55% End of History, which was packaged with squirrels and stouts. And apparently the company got in some trouble with animal rights activists for this particular beer. But these beers have been produced largely due to the kind of ongoing feud with the Schwarzbrau brewery in Germany, who are competing with them to have the title of World's Strongest Beer. And I'm sure Schwarzbrau at the moment actually hold it with the Schwarzbrau 57, which is obviously a 57% ABV beer. Very, very strong. I'll need to see if I can try that at one point, but no doubt it will be stupidly expensive. But I have a few Schwarzbrau beers that I can review for you at a later date. I picked those up in Frankfurt recently. But in 2010, Brewdog opened their first bar in Aberdeen, which you can actually go and visit. They always have kind of random beers. In addition to the Brewdog stuff, they also have some American craft beer and things like that. But they opened their Aberdeen bar in October 2010, and this was followed by bars in Edinburgh and Glasgow in 2011. They also expanded down into England in 2012 with locations in Nottingham, Newcastle, Bristol and then Birmingham. But there's also some more recent sites in Leeds, Manchester and then Camden and Shoreditch areas in London. Now, as is tradition with my Brewdog beer reviews, I'll read out the blurb that's on the bottle of this particular beer. I quite enjoy these. They're actually, some of the things that are written on these are just a bit mental, which is, you know, it's the Scottish way to be a bit crazy. But welcome to the world of Cocoa Psycho, a liquid dimension where pure indulgence reigns. Originally brewed some 250 years ago to celebrate the Russian royal family, this 10% Imperial Stout burrows from the decadence of the time with its extravagantly smooth blend of crushed coffee beans, cacao nibs and dark malts, but continue to dig a little deeper, past the infusions of vanilla pods and toasted oak chips, and eventually you'll come face to face with the madness required to make this beer, a kind of insanity that would make Rasputin himself proud. To fully unleash the aromas and bittersweet luxury of this stout, we recommend drinking it from a stemmed beer glass before taking a sledgehammer to a Fabergé egg. So, just to let you have a little look at the bottle art, for those of you watching your first Brewdog review with me, you'll notice that Brewdog always have a very similar style, a very distinctive style rather, of their labelling. The bottle cap on this one is the black with the gold dog on it. Brewdog usually have 4 different types of bottle caps, or 5 I've seen actually. They have this one, they have the white with the blue shield, white with the red shield, white with the blue dog, and white with the red dog, which is only seen on some very few beers. But without further ado, let's just get this guy open and get him tasted. I'm quite looking forward to trying this one actually. I've heard good things about this beer. But this is a 10% Russian Imperial Stout. So we'll see how this one comes out. You can smell that already, it smells really good. As you can see, oh geez, it's actually really pitch black. I wasn't expecting it to be quite so dark, but we'll see how this goes down. Try and get a bit of head on this. As you can see, it's got a very, very kind of dark brown head on that. I had a little look up, for those of you interested in the hops and things, what types of malts are used in this beer. Apparently it uses extra pale, wheat, cara, smoked, black and roasted barley malts, and it's hopped with Cascade, Fugees and Golding hops apparently. So this one should be quite an interesting blend, I have to say. So as you can see, I can't really see, there's some bubbles sticking to the side of this. As you can see, the sort of tan brown head is kind of fading. It's a very sort of foamy head. There's some bigger bubbles in there as well. If I hold this up to the light, there's really nothing really getting through that at all. This is a pitch black beer. In terms of the aroma, the first thing that comes is there's some coffee. There's a real essence of coffee in there. Getting some roasted malts. You're getting the chocolatey notes. There's a little bit of vanilla in the background with some oakiness. And I'm not sure, there's maybe some spice in there as well, I would say. The head on this one's kind of dissipating as well. When I'm moving this around, it's leaving some nice laces in the glass as well, I have to say. But let's give this guy a taste and see what it's like. Oh, this one, you notice the alcohol in this one. But the first thing that comes is the sort of is the coffee malts, I have to say. But yeah, the first thing that comes is the bitter coffee. Kind of, you get the roasty malts as well, and the vanilla is kind of noticeable in the front of it as well, I would say. There's some kind of nutty elements to it. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. There's a sort of vanilla sweetness to it. It almost is a little bit like dark fruits, but I'm pretty certain it's not really dark fruits. I'm sure it's more a vanilla sweetness than than the sort of, like, you know, cherries and things like that. It's nothing really like that. The main thing is the kind of coffee taste, and you feel the kind of chocolatey and vanilla elements to it. A little bit of oakiness in there as well. You can pick up a little hint of the spice. You're getting the hops kind of at the back of this beer. The aftertaste, I would say, there is a little bit of kind of spicy hops to it, but it's mainly the chocolatey vanilla thing that sticks on the tongue. The coffee in it, I would have thought this one maybe would have had a very kind of coffee taste to it, but it's not. The coffee taste isn't so prominent. The main thing in the aftertaste is the chocolate and the vanilla mixed together. It's blended really nicely, I have to say, this one. On the mouth, I would say it's very full-bodied. It's quite a heavy beer. This is definitely not a drinking beer. This is just an enjoyment beer, I would say. But yeah, on the mouth, quite full-bodied, quite heavy actually. Very smooth and creamy. The alcohol, you get the alcohol in it, but it's not overwhelming. The flavours are blended. That kind of vanilla and chocolatey flavour, in my opinion, kind of covers over the alcohol strength very, very well and blends the flavour really nicely. I mean, overall, I would say this is a very, very nice stout and definitely worth trying. I would say this beer is actually really, really good for as a dessert beer. I would say with some, you know, like brownies or a chocolate cake or something like that. It just goes really well. Instantly, when I tried this in the Brewdog Brewery in Aberdeen, the girl that behind the bar had some cake that had apparently been infused with this. They'd poured some of this into the dough and kneaded it all up and things like that. So this is a really good beer actually to kind of infuse your cake in, and it gives it a really, really nice flavour. That cake that she gave me was beautiful. But anyway, thanks again for watching my beer reviews. I'd highly recommend that you try this beer. If you've not tried anything from Brewdog before, I would maybe go with one of the lighter beers for your first one. Maybe the 5am Saint, the Dead Pony Club, or indeed the Punk IPA, which is obviously their most popular one. This is a really beautiful beer. If you're a bit more of a seasoned Brewdog person, definitely give one a try. Or if you like Russian Imperial Stouts, this is definitely worth a try as well. But thanks again for watching my beer reviews. I'll be back again with, I'm not quite sure what I'll do for my next one actually, I'll need to think about that. But I will be back with some beer reviews very, very soon. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, share the videos. Let me know in the comments as well what you think of this beer and what your favourite Brewdog beers are indeed. There'll be more Brewdog reviews for those of you who are interested in that particularly. I'll be back soon. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.